Hello, my name is Miranda HP.
And I'm Connor Calloway.
And we are the Bountiful Bards.
Please join us in our first ever recorded D&D campaign,
The Fountains of Cathaidra.
Oh, was you looking at the clock? Don't worry, the clock hasn't picked up on the mic.
That's too bad, that'd be pretty great.
Yes, well, no it wouldn't, because I would have to go through and individually take out each tick, 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 tick. And that was a lot of seconds, but whatever. Hello, how are you doing today, dear?
I'm doing all right. How about you? I'm very happy that our plants are growing.
Yes, we have nothing but a giant oak out in our front yard, which means no grass can grow, and it's a lot of shade, so we're getting a lot of really crazy looking shade plants to put out front and hopefully to control erosion, and they're also pretty to look at. So
you know, the most ironic thing is it's actually the magnolia tree that's actually more shade than the oak, because the oak, there's diffused light. There is no light under that magnolia because the leaves are so big.
Well, that's a magnolia for you.
Yeah, if you notice, like you go out, it is black, jet black on the left side. On the right, dappled. It's just funny to
Just
me.
a little bit of dapple.
It's beautiful, it is.
It is indeed. So, are you ready to start back up again?
I am. Sorry, I'm just excited because we had surprise lilies in the backyard.
Oh, and you also had a surprise. Your entire room was completely torn apart.
Yes, in the game.
In the game,
I was like,
not our room.
What have you done?
I didn't do anything. Not yet, anyways. Your next birthday is just going to be a blast. Murder mystery. It's going to be awesome.
As long as I get a mattress topper for my birthday, I'm good.
Well, that'll probably be at the end.
Keep stacking them. We have like 8 of those.
Yes, I can't do that. They'll be cut in half, so you'll sleep above on an elevated position above me, and I will be groveled below.
Or we'll just get like 2, the extra large twin mattresses and just like put them next to each other. And mine's just got like, you take the queen ones and just fold them in half and just keep stacking them and stacking them and stacking them. And then finally I will find comfort.
Comfort is necessary. So, last time you were coming back from Last Light, the joyous festival, that festival where everybody is preparing for Voiden, a 1.5 month long season of total darkness and deep cold, and in the before times, great evils would frolic during this time. But after having a wonderful time there and learning a few interesting tidbits about the church from Cleric Carmine, you bid your brother farewell for the month and found your room in disarray when you returned. And we'll start from there.
Okay. So, I'm standing in the doorway, and you said there's a bunch of like people around me going back and forth.
Yes and no. So as you open the door, you can see inside. There are occasionally some students walking behind your dorm, yes. But nobody's looking into your room. They're just going about their business.
Okay, so, Okay, so before I walk into the room, I just want to take a look at the door jamb, the doorknob, all that stuff to see, like, was my door forced? Like, are there scratch marks from lockpicks?
Ooh, give me a perception check or investigation check.
Oh, natural 1.
Natural 1. You
Wow.
are in, what is natural 1 plus what?
Well, plus 6. I have really good investigation, 7.
So you at least hit the first DC, increments of 5 and such. You look real close at the lock. It doesn't, you can't tell. I mean, there are scratches, but that could have been from previous owners and such, just kind of like you would look at in any type of door handle or such, you see scratches from use of nails or keys and stuff like that.
Gotcha.
You look on the edge for where the lock will, or where the latch would hit. Doesn't seem to be any finagling whatsoever. There is the gap between the doors is a bit wide though, so who knows? Not high enough for that investigation to see anything further.
Are these doors just like locked at the doorknob, or do they have a bolt?
They do have a bolt on the inside.
Okay. Well, I mean, like that you lock when you leave.
Yeah.
So it's not, because if it had been forced, it would just be splintered.
Right.
So it's not forced?
You could ascertain that it was not forced from the lack of splintering, yes.
Okay, so most likely the lock was picked, or somebody had a master key.
One or the other.
Lock picked. Or Master key. Okay, before I step inside the room, I want to just kind of like take a look at the threshold. Anything like that is anything in disarray, or is there like a tripwire laid across the door that will murder me?
Give me a perception check.
Perception. Okay, let's see if I can perceive anything. I perceive pretty darn well, actually. Let's see. 17.
So you shake away the shock of seeing everything and really focus and want to make sure everything in there is good, that there's nothing dangerous. You look up at the ceiling, you look down at the floor, you check at every wall before you step in, and then you very carefully step into the room and find that no, there are no traps that have been laid or anything crazy like that. It's just simply somebody came into your room and just tossed it as if looking for something.
Does the door open in or out?
It opens inward.
Okay, so I'm going to just kind of like squeeze myself in and carefully close the door behind me.
All right.
Door's closed. Okay. I will then cast Detect Magic. Oh, it's a ritual, so it'll take 10 minutes to just kind of cast Detect Magic.
You're going to take 10 minutes to cast Detect Magic? Okay.
Yes. But also, like, kind of like looking around to see, like, where the focus of the disarray is while I'm doing this.
Do you use it with your voice, or do you do it with your instrument? Like, what focus do you use to cast the spell?
She probably would use one of her stringed instruments and just kind of like just a real subtle, soft sort of music. You
reach out to that source of magic that you pull on and immediately feel your body become, excited with just using it.
And humming.
Humming. Since you're using the ritual form, it's like more like a slow trickle instead of a quick burst of energy. And you finally feel the magic inside of you build to the crescendo after about 10 minutes of strumming. And then there's as if a pulse from your body that only you can see, just an aura that casts over everything. You see there are no magical items except for the ones that you keep on your person at all times.
Okay.
So the room is still in its mundane form.
All right. So I would like to, without really touching anything yet, just kind of going over, then I would like to kind of like investigate and see like what has been disarrayed.
Right. Well, from your previous perception check and also my description...
That was the door.
No, you did see inside. You opened the door and saw that your mattress had been cut and some of the stuffing had been pulled out. And then also that all your... So in your room, you just had basically a bed, a chest, and a chair and desk. Okay. So the chest is at the foot of the bed. One window as well that looks out into, you're probably on the second floor inside this dormitory, that looks out onto the courtyard below, and beyond you can see the city of Etchings lit with fire for the lights of Voiden, or the lights of Last Light, excuse me. I would say if you want to, go ahead and roll an investigation check.
Yeah.
Another one.
Oh, 25.
Okay. Now you're definitely getting into, researcher, looking into it, even mind Leah, as you see, yes, the mattress was cut twice, one towards the top, one towards the bottom, and just large enough for, say, an arm to reach in of some sort. A medium-sized arm about the same size as yours, if not a little bigger, if not a little smaller. The stuffing that was pulled out is not a lot, so definitely they wasn't just pulling and pulling, they just enough, probably when they pulled their arm back out, they pulled out a little bit of the stuffing with them. Your chest is kicked open, but there's really nothing in it but maybe some books from the library that have been opened and tossed aside as if somebody picked up the thrown through them and then kind of just tossed them to the side. And then all the contents, your papers, charcoal, things for writing utensils and stuff, have all been dashed across the top of the desk, and your drawers have been completely pulled out and they're just kind of laying on the floor toppled there. One of them is a little broken.
Okay.
So somebody came in here looking for something.
Yeah, clearly. All right. Has headmistress, whatever, Thyll?
Oh, Prime Regius Thyll.
Prime Regius Thyll. Does she give me any, easy way to get in contact with her?
No, she hasn't. Do you have a message?
Well, that's what I was trying to get last time. Because I've been working with her, right?
Yeah, of course you've been working with her. Okay. She's the contact with your, as you recall, and I'll just go over it again just to make sure. She's you're basically your mother's best friend, basically your aunt. So yes. Right.
Well, okay. So essentially, what I want Leah to do is what Leah would do anyway in this context is be like, okay, I think it might be best if we are really careful about this. So I think I definitely want to go find Thyll and let her know what happened and see what she thinks. If it's a good idea for me to react like, oh my God, somebody trashed my room, or to be like on the down low, act like it didn't happen, and let's just like maybe move me to a new location without telling somebody, something like that.
Okay. So you're gonna make your way to the library essentially, because that's where her office is, and I believe where she lives as well.
So, well, I want to go out into the hallway. Is anybody there?
I mean, there are students meandering about, but people are starting to tuck away for bed, and it's starting to clear out, but nobody seems to be paying you any mind.
Well, I want to basically go to an alcove, like where nobody is looking, and just like wait a beat until there's like a dearth of students or anybody, and then cast invisibility on myself.
Okay, roll me a stealth check.
With advantage because I'm invisible, right?
No, you're not invisible yet. This is so you can find an alcove. Or you could do that inside your room before you left as well.
But then the door would open and close. All by itself.
Okay. What'd you roll?
16. Well, I rolled 14, but I get to plus 2, 16. Because I don't think I have Jack of all trades. Nope. Okay, 16.
There is at the end of the hallway, there is what is it called? I would call it a bathroom, but what it used to be called?
Water closet?
Sure, a water closet of some sort. With bucket and wash and stuff.
We have indoor plumbing here. We're special.
No indoor plumbing.
Dang it! No.
Not yet. But no.
Privy.
Privy, yes, and there is definitely a privy that you can go inside of.
I'm trying not to open and close a door invisibly. That would be
I understand what you're doing, but the dorm is very simple. It's just a hallway with stairs at either end. There's a common room at either end as well, with a fireplace that could be going if need be. And there's a few privies as well for people to use to get washed up and cleaned up. I would definitely say, though, with that stealth check, without putting any more fuss, you are definitely able to find a specific time to cast invisibility on yourself. And I think, is this the first time you've cast invisibility?
It is.
How do you do it?
Let's see. It is vocal somatic material.
Wait, no, it's not the first time. I think you've done it before where you'd make the motion like a conductor would silence with 2 fingers. Right. So you do that as you're walking. Let's just say you look over your left. There's everybody walking away from you. There's people walking in front of you, but there's nobody coming that's made any eye contact with you. Bring up your hands. You once again summon forth your magic, and then draw your 2 hands to either direction to silence the orchestra, and you fade into nothing.
Yes. Okay.
You blink and you can still see. You can't see that you're blinking, even though you feel that you are. You look down at your hands; they're completely gone. It is a very odd feeling. You look down at your body and it's not there, when usually there would be something there. But you, of course, feel yourself. So you want to make your way through the snow to the towers, correct?
Or, well, I mean, it's Voiden's coming up. So do they have any of the tunnels accessible? Is there any way for
Not at the school. The school grounds are very small, and most of the snow path is cleared away for the paths.
Okay, yeah. So just
that always does that.
Basically, any route that she would know extremely well at this point that either is really easy to avoid people, but is very clear. Don't want to leave footprints. Nothing. Just kind of want to like sneak.
So you make your way across the courtyard along the cobbled stone to the main towers. The doors are still open. Inside the primary tower at the bottom, which leads all the way up. This is a lot where the professor's common rooms are, some additional classrooms. And then at the very top is the solarium itself, where all the books are kept. You make your way up, passing a few students that you recognize, one or two Regiuses that you recognize as well, as including Prime Regius Thyll, as you're making your way up, and then a few others, and eventually you do make it to the library.
Okay.
What do you do?
So I just kind of want to peek in, look around. I know her routine pretty darn well at this point.
Oh, yeah.
Where most likely she would most likely be either in there doing research because she can't sit still, or in her office.
You do see that the library, for the most part, all 5 floors are empty, and there is a light coming from beneath her office door.
Okay, I'm going to walk up to the door and put my ear to it.
You hear a perception check. That's what you hear. I blanked for a second there.
Wow, that was really good. 21.
21. You
20, sorry.
You hear the scritchings of a quill.
And that's it?
Mm-hmm. You hear and there's some paper moving every now and then, as if somebody were inside writing on some paper.
Can prestidigitation make noise?
Yep. It sure can.
Okay. And do I have to physically see where it is?
Generally, but you know what the room on the inside looks like.
Okay.
What are you trying to do here?
I'm basically trying to just throw my voice, essentially, and just be like,
That's minor illusion, I think. This one is you can make like a popping noise or something of that sort.
Okay, but I can also create an illusory image, like a little one, up to 10 feet, right? And
that's also minor illusion.
Well, it says here, you can create a non-magical trinket or an illusory image that can fit in your hand. So essentially, it can be a small image.
To fit in your hand, yes.
But it has to be in my hand. It says it's a range of 10 feet.
This is for prestidigitation, right?
Yes.
Okay. You can create an instantaneous, harmless sensory effect such as a sour of sparks, puff of wind, faint musical notes, or an odd odor.
I know I'm looking at the spell. What I'm saying is the one on the end. You create a non-magical trinket or an illusory image that can fit in your hand. It doesn't say it has to. Right. What I'm assuming is that implies is that it's small.
Yes, but it cannot leave your hand.
Why can't it leave my hand?
Because prestidigitation is magic that is very focused on the palms.
Fine, I'll just knock on the door the way that I always knock on the door.
I swear, you D&D players and your doors, just open doors sometimes.
Well, I don't know if she's in there by herself.
I understand.
So
it's just always, I love always seeing the comments on Reddit and stuff, or just on Twitter. It's just, doors are by far the utmost enemy of any D&D players. Even myself, like when I'm playing in my game, when I'm playing my rogue, especially as my rogue, I'm very meticulous of the door. I go through, perception checks, investigation. Is it trapped, bugged, locked? What's going on? How can I get in? So I understand completely.
I feel like we could psychoanalyze that in a way of saying it illustrates the unknown and how we're trepidatious because especially in theater of the mind,
yes,
we don't have the concrete things that allow us to go from symbol to reality. We don't have that.
That's very true.
It creates even more of that burden in our mind. So, but in this context, I think it's more Leah is like, what the fuck happened then? What's gonna happen next?
I understand.
This is super cool.
A little bit of a panic.
Well, but she's also, this is cool because Leah is way more down to cause and start shit than I am. But
I understand.
But what I was also wanting to do was basically help us, Obi-Wan Kenobi, you're my only hope. Like a mini projection is what I was thinking.
That would be hilarious.
Yes.
So you knock on the door and you hear, who is it?
Leah.
Oh, well, come in. You don't have to knock. Unless it's locked. It is locked. 1 second. And you hear a...
Is anybody around?
No, it's empty. Okay.
Because I'm still invisible, so...
Yeah.
I gently... Open and close the door. And then become invisible again.
Theo is looking up and squinting from side to side. Is this a funny trick?
Trick, yes. Funny, no.
Where are you?
No, I dropped invisibility.
Oh, you dropped it?
Yeah, I came in, closed the door, and dropped it.
What hand signals do you use to drop it?
The conductor, the opposite of start is where he flings his arms out, but it's slightly reduced.
Absolutely. Yes. So you reappear and she goes, oh, good heavens. Oh, yes. I forgot you can do that.
I forget myself sometimes.
It's all right. Nobody saw you do that, right?
No.
All right. You know how it is. We have to be careful around here.
Yes. Speaking of, are we...
How was the festival?
Are we secure in here?
Yeah, absolutely.
Everything good?
As much as I can make it within the confines of my abilities. What's going on?
Can she detect magic? Would I know this at this point working with her?
You think that she can do something like that? She can do the identify spell.
Well, that's specific. That doesn't detect if something is magical in here.
What's going on, dear? You're scaring me.
Give me a second, and I'm gonna cast Detect Magic, but not as a ritual this time.
Okay. So you quickly, with an inhale of breath, along with the inhale of the magic, it builds quickly and then a burst from you, taking a little bit of your fatigue and making it a little, you feel your fatigue grow a little bit stronger as you once more feel the pulse away from you.
I'm gonna pull out the tuning fork this time. That's what, she's got a tuning fork, so that's...
Ding! It's like she's not even, it makes the ringing noise even though it doesn't hit on anything.
Yeah.
And you see, on Thyl's person, you see, her focus she has, which is a long piece of wood. It's very faint, but other than that, that's all in this room. It's just, yeah.
Okay.
Leah.
My room was trashed.
What do you mean?
Mattress torn up, my things pulled out, pulled asunder. Somebody was looking for something. I carry literally everything on me at all times because that is just the kind of person I am. So there's nothing for them to find. I don't know what they were looking for anyway. But I came to you right away because I don't know if my reaction to this should be, oh no, somebody trashed my room, or I should not draw attention to this at all and maybe see if you can move me someplace or fix it and act like it didn't happen. I don't know that it's safe for me to be there anymore.
Let's see here. So someone was looking in your room for something.
Yes.
And nothing was missing.
No? Nothing was missing, right?
Correct.
With that perception. Okay.
Something incriminating. That's not a good sign. I definitely feel that someone is paying very close attention to us. Or to you. None of my things have been trashed, but no one would dare touch my rooms. My dorm rooms for sure. Plenty of students coming and going, but not up here. No one gets up here without any of the security guards seeing.
So, because the only thing I can think of, to you, Connor, not in-game, that she would have on her that is actually magic is the wand of locate object and her cloak, right?
And also the decanter of endless water I gave you, and some potions.
Right. I gotta write that on here. It's not on here. Decanter.
That you found in, when you found Professor Eklar and the rest of his goblins that are from the city of Radian.
Well, I honestly, I would imagine that the church, though, wouldn't they create health potions at some point? Like,
maybe.
So they're like
roll a history check.
They're like, because I feel like that's kind of in their purview. 13.
You remember as a child, you have been taken by your father to Cleric Cathaidra before after getting a pretty bad scrape of some sort, and he has administered something that tasted very familiar to that of the potions that you know of. So
they might not be
they have a means of creating probably herbal tonics that are as powerful and potent as magical potions.
And since my dad works at the church or whatnot, so like it wouldn't be like super weird for me to have them because they'd be like, oh, your dad might give one or two. Well, they might be like unusual, but I don't think it would be like a heretical thing.
I would say with that history check, it's a controlled substance. We'll say that much.
Okay, but look, I have a prescription. It's on the label. Okay, so, like, they might be looking, like, so the only things that she would have, which she keeps on her because they're cool and she doesn't trust them to be left around, are that decanter and the health potions. Plus, she's like, basically put it inside of a flask so she doesn't have to, like, carry a water bottle.
Well, it looks like a flask. It just looks like a cool flask with a bunch of etchings on it. Nobody really
So just covered it up with, like, just a leather canteen thing.
Yeah,
so it looks like a generic water bottle.
Yeah, no problem. I figured you did that anyways. Not a problem. Of course.
This is and she's... her super cool cloak has pockets, so that's where the wand goes.
Okay, all right.
Well, she has pockets everywhere because, of course, she has pockets. Yeah. It's my fantasy world too. I get to have pockets.
I understand. So, Thyll goes, I think it would be unwise to move you right now. We don't want to bring any attention. I would continue not to keep anything in your room as you do, but you're going to be spending a lot of time in your room for the next month or so. I every student is within scream distance where you are as well, so I don't think the guards would be able to not protect you. I don't think the guards would be in on it either. They shift out. We have ones that are sent from the Lance that are trained, and they are shifted out, every month or so. So no one has any loyalties here or bought and paid for, I would assume. So it was either one of the students, one of the staff, or, heaven forbid, one of the other primes. But the primes don't go in the dorms without really being seen, so...
Unless one of them can do magic, too.
I haven't detected any of the sort, but I have also been keeping mine secret, so who knows?
Sometimes people turn hate inwards.
It's a lot easier to love hate than it is to hate love, as they say.
So, well, I wanted you to know, to be aware. So what I will do then is I will sneak back, and I have a way to fix things.
Mending, yes?
Yes.
I know about that spell.
Yes, it's very interesting. So I will be able to fix things so we won't even have to draw any potential attention by acquiring new things. So I will do that.
Very true. Do you have a needle and thread?
Yes.
I would definitely just needle and thread up the mattress. The rest you can fix, of course, but I would definitely just do that in case anybody looks at your mattress and wonders where the cuts are.
Well, what if we just got a new mattress? They don't know.
Once again, might need to not let the staff know that somebody cut up your mattress.
Right.
Even though you do carry around your pointy stick there.
Which means that, saying it would look like it never happened in the first place. So it would be kind of like a gaslighty thing. Like, what do you mean? You didn't mess anything up.
Ooh, perfect. I like that even well. If anyone comes knocking, if you have anything interesting happening, come to me immediately. Okay. Or have me summoned.
Sounds like
they know that I'm your sponsor, and I would be damned if anything happens to you before it happens to me.
I appreciate that. Well, I wanted to let you know.
Much appreciated.
Before I did anything.
I will be on the lookout, and I will see what I will listen and see what I can investigate on my end. Let's just lay low through Voiden, and we still have to plan for our trip next month to your way station that you found once Voiden is over, before the third term starts. So let's prepare for that, and just be careful. But you can take care of yourself. If you were able to survive the attack of the worms, I think you can survive somebody lurking around in the dark.
I will do my best.
I'll summon you soon. I've been working on a few things.
All right.
I want to go over them with you then, okay?
If you would...
She gets up and walks around the desk as she's saying this.
If you would give me a moment and then open the door and, I don't know, walk down the hall and look at a book or something so I can follow behind you invisibly so I'm not opening and closing the door?
Of course. And then she embraces you in a very bone-wrenching hug as you feel her, natural dwarven muscles just kind of start crushing you a little bit. She goes, "You be safe, okay?" And she lifts you up off the ground even though she's like 1.5 feet shorter than you, or 2 feet shorter than you. Puts you back down. Says, "Okay, here you go." She reaches over on a tray nearby and picks up a little packet. She goes, some biscuits for your tea tonight.
Thank you. And I tuck them away into my amazing cloak that at this point is kind of like mottled grayish white.
Right. She will open the door for you.
I go invisible before she does that and then follow behind her.
All right. Do you want to now head back to your room?
Yep.
All right. You do so and make your way back, and if you want to, clean everything up and settle in for the night, probably with your desk pushed up against the door.
Yes, that's actually what I was looking at. Whoa.
It's not bolted down or anything. You can definitely move it to the door.
Okay, so going to mending, prestidigitation, mending.
It looks like, Merlin packing away in the sword and the stone. You just moving and everything's fixing itself, and you're putting things where they go and fixing the little drawer and make sure all the books are repaired and good as you store them back in your trunk.
Yep.
Okay.
Especially those books, man. That'd be super cool to have a mending spell for books. Oh my gosh.
There is a mending spell for books. Oh yeah, that would be amazing, wouldn't it? Just repair it.
Ugh, can you? And prestidigitation. Do you have any idea how clean my library would be?
How clean this house would be if I could do prestidigitation, or we could do it both.
Not that I expect. Sleep. Prestidigitation.
Hey, look. Let's keep the mysteries of our bedroom in our bedroom, please. Thank you.
Stop farting.
I can't. Look, Miranda. People are listening.
This is a gaseous way station.
And just because I can do that magical spell, okay?
It is prestidigitation. You can create an illusory odor.
Oh no, I'm talking about, noxious gas, whatever that spell is. That
The stinking cloud.
Stinking cloud. That's just because I can perform stinking cloud in real life. I mean, you're just jealous. Look, let's get back to this.
Noted.
A few weeks pass without issue. The world outside is still pitch black.
Am I getting a really good workout from pushing my desk up against the door every night?
Yes, you are.
I'm so strong.
You are getting a bit, what's the word when you are of cabin fever?
Yeah.
Being stuck inside all the time, but it's extremely blistering cold. And if you go out, it's not very comfortable to be outside at any point in time. So generally you have your books either hanging in your room or by the cozy fire in the inn. I assume the other students have some card games and dice games if you'd like to play, but eventually it just all gets a bit gratuitous, and you really want the weeks to go by so that you can see sunlight again and go back outside.
I would have definitely been spending time with the other students because, again, this showcases how Leah is not like me at all.
Right.
Because, she wants to get to know them and so on, because there is safety in people knowing who you are in that context or who she wants them to see.
Yeah.
So very much like developing those friendships, and kind of partially also because she wants to suss out if anybody there is keeping like an eye on her in particular, or paying too much attention.
Too much attention.
So very much like establishes herself as the one who's quick to pull out an instrument and create kind of a semi-party sort of thing. So
the dwarf student Radia that you recall out in the way, she's definitely been kind of akin to you, and hanging out with you and discussing. And everybody loves also that you can perform music in the rooms as well. So that's another thing that you can do to build a little rapport with the students. And they are quite fond of you for sure.
That's what I want to do. Is like, I encourage friendship.
Not cast it, just encourage.
I'm encouraging it. Yeah, very much is kind of like the, everybody would like me and nobody would mistrust me. Sort of like the reliable, fun sort.
Absolutely. Now.
Plus, it's good to have entertainment,
One evening, while you are busying yourself with whatever you do to pass away the times, it is the third of All Sight, which is the primary month for Voiden. The following month is, if I recall correctly, called Emergence, probably named after the fact that the sun comes back out. You get a message from Thyll.
Like message?
In your head.
Ooh, fun.
Leah, found something interesting in the library. When you have a moment, come here.
You may reply to this message.
She doesn't say that. But you
can.
Then? You can.
Yes.
As we will say, definitely, occasionally, every couple of days, she would message you to check on you and make sure you were doing okay. And she'd also tell you she's checked on your brother as well.
Sure.
And he's doing just fine. He's reading that chemistry book he was talking about.
Oh, boy. Chemical reactions of stabbing people. Mm-hmm. The effects of steel upon internal organs.
Yeah, and she told you probably your brother tried to do a few of the chemistry experiments in there and set his dorm on fire, but he's fine.
Okay, oh boy. All right. Yes, we'll head that way shortly.
Okay.
So it's not crappy enough outside, or is it still like a trek? Like, what's my sitch here?
Oh, it is still just dark and gloomy and cold.
So just, turn up the collar on the cloak.
As you climb the stairs, it's warm at the bottom of the tower, but as you go further and further up, it seems to be getting a bit colder as you climb. And make a perception check for me.
I know this cloak can change color. Does it also, change, what it physically looks like?
No, just the color.
Okay. Perception?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why I lifted my page. Non-investigation? Darn, an 11.
With the color control of your cloak, by the way, you can make it look like a drab beggar's cloak, browns and dirty browns and stuff, all the way up to a glorious robe that an empress would wear, that kind of thing. But it is the standard.
So I just mostly have to use like optical illusion for it to look. Okay, that's
hooded,
cool,
ankle-long cloak.
You know how like people do the body paint where it looks like so. So I imagine a lot of times she's utilized that.
With that 11, it's fine. When you get to one rung below the library of the stairs, you see that the sconces are all unlit.
I'm going to stand really still.
Okay.
Do I hear anything?
Roll a perception check.
Let's do perception. Oh, that was even better. 18.
You hear nothing, which is the eerie part. It is a silence that is pressing in around you. It's stifling. You don't even hear any of the wind moving outside. All you see above you is a corridor of darkness.
And all the sconces are out.
The sconces behind you are still lit, but of the next 8 stairs up, they're dark. And then you see as it starts to curve up to the left as you're climbing, it's dark.
So is there like a line where the lights are suddenly out?
Yeah. Well, no, it's not a line. It's just from here forth, your path is dark, when usually it's always lit. Always.
So does this darkness, is it just like what normal darkness would look like when a light goes out? Yes. Or is it like a physical presence of darkness? Like
it is normal darkness, but it definitely makes the hair on the back of your arms and the back of your neck start to rise. Something's wrong. Mm-hmm. Something's different. Mm-hmm. Not magically different, but something's different.
Okay. Well, I have 3 level 2 slots. So I will go invisible.
All right, you go invisible. Now what?
I'm going to very quietly walk up the stairs.
Roll me a stealth check with advantage.
And I want to walk not in the middle of the stairs, but on the edge of the stairs.
All right,
and just pay attention to where my feetsies are. Natural 20.
Okay. You don't even need to roll again unless you want to.
I was going to say, that was with advantage. Natural 20.
You reach over to the wall and begin to make your way up one step at a time. How do you see?
Well, I'm letting my... Oh, I can't write today. I'm letting my eyes adjust to the darkness.
Mm-hmm. As you make your way up, it's still rather dark.
Because I imagine there's windows, right?
There are windows, but it's dark outside.
Oh, that's true.
And as high up as you are, there's very little light reaching in from below. You can see enough to where you see cuts of light, but it's not enough to illuminate the stairway. You do have your prestidigitation as well if you wanted to try and relight the sconces.
No, because if I use a spell, it nixes the invisibility.
My apologies. Okay.
So I would imagine she's kind of moving... Well, she's extremely familiar with this area. I've done this a million times at this point. So it's kind of one of those, when you walk into a room and something's not where it should be, and there's just that sense.
Yeah, we just went over that.
So that's what she's doing. It's just kind of
You get to the top of the stairwell, and you see that the double doors that go into the library, one is closed, the other one is ajar. And usually where there's light coming from the inside and also the flickering of a fire over in the great hearth towards the southern wall. I have a map for you later. But it seems as if they've died to embers, and you just see the soft red glow of embers. And it is hauntingly quiet inside.
Okay, I'm going to very carefully make my way up to the ajar door and peer inside.
Roll me a perception check.
How far are the doors open?
About 1.5 feet, enough for you to squeeze through.
14.
You go to peer in, and there's rows upon rows of books that cover up the stairways that go up to the upper floors. And in the middle, where there are 4 L-shaped shelves that will make pretty much a square with a path northeast, south, and west that you can go out of. You can see Thyll standing with her back to you, looking at the shelf there.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Okay, I am going to... Well, I thought for some reason I keep mistaking the wand of locate object with a wand of detect magic for some reason. So I was just like thinking about what to do. Okay, so I'm going to. So you said it's enough for me to slip in, so I'm going to slip in and just kind of like, man, that natural 20 is amazing. I'm going to kind of slip in and just kind of inch around, like as far away from her as possible.
Yeah.
Until I'm like parallel to her, because I want to see, like, you said she's staring at the shelf. So
she is.
So I don't want to look at what she's looking at in case it's like a
I understand.
You're stuck thing. Like hypnotic pattern, I think is the thing.
I hear you.
But I also want to see, like, I know it's very low light or whatever, but I also want to see, like, if I can see her facial expression, like if she looks like she's about to like eat my face because she's turned into something or is possessed.
Her hair is down. Her hair is never down.
Oh boy.
As you begin to make your way around to try and get an idea of her face, she seems to be looking at something on a shelf. Give me a perception check.
Making my way. 11.
There are books scattered on the floor around her, and one of the shelves is broken.
Okay.
And you see there's another little pile off to the right as well, as if, they've just been pulled and slammed onto the floor. Thyll is just standing shockingly quiet. And as you move past one shelf, and you get to another to try and look at her again, she's gone.
Oh, God, I hate these games. I'm just not moving. Do I hear anything? Because, I mean, she has to move.
You hear breathing.
Where?
Behind you.
Yeah, of course. I'm going to... Okay, so tell me where I am in space. Like, I'm between shelves.
You're towards the center of the room in between two shelves.
I'm at the end, right? Because, like,
Yeah, you're at the end of the shelf because you were trying to peer around and see.
Okay, so what I'm going to do then is, because prestidigitation, you can create light, right? Mm-hmm. Like light effects?
Yeah.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to essentially take a step to the edge of the row.
Mm-hmm.
Behind me, prestidigitate like fucking brightest light I can possibly do with
fireworks.
Prestidigitation.
Okay.
Like magnesium. When you light magnesium.
Yeah, like sparklers. I got you.
Insanely bright.
Mm-hmm. It'll last for a few seconds.
Duck and cover, roll out of the way. Turning my cloak
as soon as you turn to raise your hand,
gray.
You see Thyll standing there.
Mm-hmm.
Her eyes are bleak white.
Yep, I figured.
And her mouth is hanging open.
Yep.
And as soon as you do that light, she lets out a horrifying shriek. Something you have never heard before or uttered from any individual.
Duck, tumble, roll. Out of the way.
And then she starts running after you. So you duck, tumble, and roll?
Well, yes,
roll? Yes, you're trying to get out of the way. Roll an acrobatics check.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Not very good. Acrobatics. Well, she's okay with it.
8. She's going to roll her athletics check. She, as you were trying to scamper her away, she is chasing after you, and she is ripping and grabbing books and pulling them down behind her as she goes. Her hair is completely disabled. This is absolutely disheveled. Excuse me. This is absolutely horrifying as she starts to gain on you. As you turn around, you see as she's chasing you, and you're trying to, I guess, make it back to the door. Mm-hmm. She is definitely gaining on you for sure. Is there anything you would like to try and do to try and stop her?
I didn't want to get to the door. What I wanted to do was between two shelves.
Okay.
So the idea was that I pop the crazy bright flashbang.
Last for 6 seconds.
Because it's trying to just disorient her.
Yeah.
Even if she's crazy possessed.
Yeah.
Because eyeballs are still eyeballs, right?
What are you gonna do?
And then roll around the shelf and go back down and across. So trying to kind of create a situation where she's not quite sure where I am.
Okay. No, but
not running away because I feel like
as you go to turn around the other side, she does turn around and sees you and starts chasing you down the shelves. You double back again, and she reaches through the shelves, knocking over books, and her hand begins to try and claw at you as you pass by. And she is unable to grab you. Her fingers barely touching your cloak as you scamper by. What would you like to do now?
I guess I will cast Vicious Mockery.
Okay. Go ahead.
As a cantrip. Vicious Mockery. Disadvantage on the next attack roll.
She has to roll a saving throw? A wisdom saving throw. I can do that. Not a problem at all.
When do I hit level 5?
Who knows?
You know.
Ooh, natural 1 plus 1.
Okay, so she takes 1d4 psychic damage and has disadvantage on the next attack roll.
Go ahead and do that.
That was my main point.
As she reaches out and she brings her hand across the books, knocking them over, trying to catch you, and she's screaming and running alongside you on the shelf. You both come out either end and turn, and you immediately react with vicious mockery. What do you say?
Your works are derivative.
And what'd you roll?
1.
It's more than fine. She comes around the corner. As you do that, you shock her mind, something that she, or whatever she is, did not expect. And as soon as you do that, you see coming from the back of her skull this ethereal bluish essence, this horrifying, withered looking face, hair spilling out to either side, and you can see straight through them, and you feel this blast of cold air from their presence. I need you to roll for me, if you do not mind, a wisdom saving throw.
Wow, I did amazing. I'm not even kidding. It's a natural 19.
Really?
Yeah.
You see it, but the hero in you, you feel yourself, still connected to the magic source. You're not afraid of this in the slightest.
You messed up the books.
But you do feel the fear just kind of glance off your skin like armor as the ghost bears at you and comes completely, all the ectoplasm streaming from Thyll, who collapses on the floor and just bears down on you before folding backwards and then disappearing into the floor. And you were there with an unconscious Thyll.
Oh man, I was hoping I was going to get to fight it. Well, I probably will at some point. Okay, so she's unconscious?
Yes.
From 1 point of damage. Dang. Or is it from the thingy-majiggy?
It just happened.
Okay, so I'm going to go...
She's unconscious beneath you. You look down, her skin is pale.
Reach in. No, not that. No, not that pocket. Dang it, I love pockets. I got too many pockets. Pull out the healing potion. I've got a really generic one.
Okay.
I'm going to go...
Administer it.
Yes.
You do so, and as it goes down her gullet, you feel her skin, and it's just ice cold. Still desperately unconscious. And you hear behind you, "What's going on in here? We heard screaming."
Whose voice is it?
You turn around to see Prime Regius Nicholas standing there with Prime Regius Lithu.
Lithu's the bad one, right?
Lithu is, he's the one that you were, in an argument with originally when you first got here.
Right.
And Prime Regius Nicholas is the head of the entire school.
Okay.
There are about 10 other people, staff. Prime Regius Thyll is there, who's basically the doctor, and also a few students as well.
Okay, so before I turn around, I'm going to slide the empty vial on one side, pull out my water bottle, because I think she had a seizure or something. I don't know. Maybe she fell.
Roll me what's it called?
Deception?
A deception.
I'm being perfectly honest,
I was trying to say deceitful.
8 plus 6. 18 plus 6, sorry. 24.
That's good. You rolled high because he rolled high too. Haddle comes rushing over. Move. There's her little halfling form. What? Let me see. What happened here? God, she's ice cold.
Yeah, I'm basically cradling, I've moved around so she can get to her, but I'm basically holding her in my lap so her head doesn't hit the floor.
Prime Regius Nicholas comes up and is like, "Y'all, everybody stay back. Keep them back. Lithu, come with me." And the other Prime Regis is around you while all the students are hanging back. Nicholas goes, "Leah, did you see anything?" No,
that's the problem is I came up here because, we talk a lot about things. We just can't. I came up here because I thought, I was bored, honestly. And she had fallen. I don't know if she was something happened and she was grabbing at shelves to try to catch herself because or maybe something fell on her or a shelf collapsed.
What about the screaming? Lithu asked.
Yeah, she turned around, screamed, and fell over.
Let me run a medical check for Haddle.
I don't know. She's my friend, and she's so smart, and I don't understand. I'm gonna do the Anne Hathaway.
Oh no! Shush! Yeah, please. I need you to react. I need you to calm down. Let me look at what's going on. This is Haddle. This is. I've never experienced a cold like this before. And Lithu says, "It's very suspicious indeed. that you wouldn't find her here. And you just said she just started having a fit?
I would assume so. I don't know. All the lights were out. What was I supposed to do? I couldn't see.
Haddle starts to scratch her chin.
I was more distracted by the fact books were all over the place.
She feels her neck. She is starting to warm up again. Her heartbeat's there. But I've never seen anything like this before, Nicholas. Prime Regius Nicholas goes, Do you suspect foul play? I don't know. I think this is beyond me. Lithu goes, This is beyond all of us. The church should be told about this. Just feel the room in here. This is unnatural. Something's wrong here. We should summon someone from the church.
I know somebody who might be able to
Stop, please, Leah.
Okay.
Oh, I know you may know somebody, and I'm glad you have affiliates, but the church will send who they feel is best for this type of thing. I need you, Haddle. We'll get the students in. We'll get a carrier and take her down to your tower. Leah, students, you're to return to your dorms and to stay there until we can figure out what's going on here, and the church comes with an investigation. Oh, this is a very sad sight to see. It is indeed. And then Lithu turns to look at you and he kind of glares a little bit.
I've still got the wide-eyed, tears streaking down my face.
Yeah.
I mean, full.
Oh, yeah, no, I understand what you're doing, but he's still looking at you. He goes, something was definitely afoot here. The church will find out. He's looking at you. They'll see.
Yes, absolutely.
Nicholas
we
goes,
certainly hope so, don't
enough.
we?
This is more than enough terror that we need. And in Voiden of all times. Students, back to your dorms. Guards, take them down there and escort them, please, so that they're all safe. Leah, if you'll please go. Haddle reaches out and grabs your hand with her tiny little hand, and she goes, Everything's going to be fine. I'll take care of her.
I can't remember. So, give me a second, because...
Haddle is the head of medicine. She's a halfling.
Right, so they're taking her to the infirmary.
Essentially, it's one of the towers.
So, well, no, I was just trying to, okay, so Lithu is the one who's not to be trusted. Pincombe is the one who just, I don't want to know.
That's Nicholas. He's the head of the school.
So he knows what he doesn't want to know, but he doesn't care about knowing. He's kind of the plausible deniability, don't care.
I don't know. That's what you assumed.
Oh, well, that's what I have written here.
That's what you assumed. Good note taking, I guess, for you.
So we've got... I was just also okay, so Nicholas...
is...
a human?
Yeah.
Okay. Lithu is the half-elf. Thyll is a dwarf. Corb is the Goliath.
Yeah, they're not there. It's just these three right here.
Is the full-on elf.
As you're being escorted out...
Couldn't remember.
As you're being escorted out, you hear that shriek again. Faint through stone. But it definitely sends a chill down your spine as the rest of the Prime Regiuses, and they're carrying Thyll down as with you, but as the rest of the Prime Regiuses all look around and then hurriedly exit the library and shut the door behind them.
So the scream came from the library still? Okay, so there's something trapped in there. Got it.
And that's where we're going to end this episode.
Dang it!
Ruh-roh.
Ruh-roh, Reggie.
You like ghost stories, right, Miranda? What a face. We'll see you next week, everyone, or in the next couple of weeks. Thank you for listening. Please leave a review anywhere you found us. You can reach out to us on Twitter at Bountiful Bards. We hope to see you again on the civilized road.
And bring bread and cheese.
As the story goes, until then.